Okay, folks, this one's really tiny. Let's see if we can make this one turn up a treat despite its diminutive size. Let's see how we go. Oh, I'm so glad I don't have to go to work tomorrow on Monday. Yippee! It's one of the things I like about public holidays, even though I hate the way you can't go to the shops with them. Although Officeworks is apparently open on public holiday on tomorrow on the King's birthday. Yeah. So I can go to Officeworks if I need to get some shit, like paper and stuff. I've already got enough toner to last me. I already used up my magenta toner. I've got the other toners ready to go when they run out. Okay, let's see how we go with this. It is very small. Trying to get it to focus. I think it's a broken press stud. It's a press stud that comes off your clothing. It's meant to like buttons, like a button type of functionality. So this is looks like a press stud. I'm just going to put that in the corner like so. I'm going to put a piece of paper behind it. Yeah, there you go. It looks more obvious what it is. The colour, there's no colour showing, but it's pretty well defined. Still pretty, it's amazing what the photocopiers can pick up, even though they're not as high resolution as you'd like them to be. Typical photocopier's resolution, I think, is 600 dpi, or dots per inch, whereas I think it should be at least 1000 and something dpi, maybe 1040 dpi would be a nice one, but the photocopier industry don't want to do any major R&D because they just care about money, and they don't hire talented people. I don't think they even have an R&D facility in their companies anymore. It's all about making a quick dollar using legacy software like this instead of making new software and exciting features like they used to in the 80s and the 90s. So and that's come up looking really quite interesting. That looks really nice. Now we just have to take a section and maybe enlarge it. Maybe this section here would look really nice. But that's one thing I'd like to do in the future, folks, is to redesign the photocopier from scratch to make it something more exciting and more easier to use and has more flexibility, using AI to control the features and AI to control just about, so you could imagine that the photocopier comes factory set with enlargements and double-sided copying and simple features like that come as fitted as factory standard. But then the AI is in there too, utilised controlling these features. And then you've got apps. You can actually design, you can actually purchase, imagine you can purchase apps that can be utilised to make the photocopier even more flexible. And you can choose the features, you can pick and choose what you want to buy and what you want to use instead of having it already in the factory set. And you don't have to pay exorbitant amounts of money. just imagine you could just, how should I put it? What can I say? I'm trying to think. It's hard to think. But yeah, that would be really good, because the companies these days tend to concentrate on changing the hardware. They change the hardware, which is bad for the planet, because this stuff becomes toxic in a waste when thrown away incorrectly. And I'd like the machinery, the hardware, to last 60 years, not 5 years. And I want to make the hardware out of recycled materials that you get from e-waste dumps around the world, like from India and China, and trying to clear up the mess that has been made in these places in China, especially China and India, because they get treated as dumping grounds, and it's really not fair on them that this is happening. And it's not fair. It's not good stewardship of the environment. It's not good. It's so wasteful. And I don't even know whether they use mined materials to build the hardware. It's really quite wasteful when you're throwing out the hardware. And you got to use less plastics too, like, I want to do away with all this plastic nonsense. The only place plastic will have, in my mind, in a photocopier is in the how shall I put it, in the wiring, the plugs, the sockets, the insulation, anything where glass, metal or ceramic or whatever else can't go. Plastic will have its place, but it's only as a last resort. It's not something we put on the panels. The panels will be made in, both the software and the hardware is going to be really nice, really creative, really beautifully manufactured, beautifully designed, lots of creativity and thought and care put into it for the planet, for the human race, for the workers in the factory, as well as the people who use the photocopier, the end users. It's got to really make people happy. It's got to make people feel like they can virtually look forward to going to work, having such an easy job using the photocopier instead of wrestling with it. The way the world is, it's just so wrong. And we've got to somehow make the world a better place, and to make the place, I'm going to move that across. And basically, one of the features, the thing is, going back to the software, these software patches will be made available as apps, like in an app store, like iTunes and Google Play, but it's going to be for the photocopier. The photocopier's equivalent. So the company that builds the photocopier will have their own name for it. It's got to be original, of course, folks. But basically, it's going to be bought as apps, and when the apps get installed, they're going to work in tune with the AI that's already factory set. The AI will work harmoniously with the software, the image editing software and the adjustment software, image quality software and all that sort of stuff that you can get, or that you're going to get available on this equipment. So, there's a lot of exciting ideas I have kicking around in my head regarding the future of photocopiers. One of the things I'm really excited about is making the internal chassis will be made of titanium to make it strong and durable and last 60 years. The external panels, however, are going to be available, if I'm correct at this time, in my mind, 4 different materials: aluminium, titanium, stainless steel, and this newfangled material called ALON, which is basically stands for aluminium and oxygen and nitrogen, which is what it's composed of. It is a ceramic and it's transparent. They often refer to it as transparent aluminium, even though that's not quite what it is. It is actually a ceramic, but it's see-through. So imagine a photocopier having see-through panels, and you can see some of what's going on inside while the machine's running. It would be an exciting idea. Or the anodized aluminium, having it available in bright colours, just like Apple's iPod Mini, which apparently came in many different colours of anodized aluminium. So you can imagine the exciting things that are possible if you fucking love what you do. If you love what you do and you really care about what you do, you'll make a good job of it. And the people that are going to be putting this photocopier together are going to be paid a proper wage, not slave wages. They're going to be paid a little bit more than what they're worth. And the types of people we're going to hire are going to be highly skilled, highly trained, and their passion is going to be photocopiers. The best people for the photocopier industry are people known as toner heads. A toner head is basically a photocopier nerd. That's what a toner head is. We need toner heads in the factory making this product and making it beautifully. And we're going to it's just going to be a really exciting time in history to introduce this new machine. Even though I am a 50-year-old, I'm hoping to stay alive long enough to see it happen, to make it happen. Because I want the world to be a clean and green and happy place. I want the factory workers to really enjoy their day, not be treated like slaves, not be treated like shit. They've got to be treated right. They've got to have safe working conditions. Occupational health and safety and all that sort of shit, very important. And it's going to be manufactured here in Australia. Designed and made in Australia and owned by an Australian. So it's going to be Australian owned, Australian designed and Australian manufactured. It's going to be as much Australian as you can get, except for some of the raw materials coming from places like China and India and other countries that need to be cleaned up as we go. So we've got to make the world a better place by being passionate about what we do. And this is my passion. This is my future. If I can get myself on the 6 o'clock news soon on Channel 9 and get in touch with my partner Luigi, and we can take it from there. Because Luigi's going to be like the beginning. He's going to help set this up. I can't do this on my own. I'm currently living with disabilities, both diagnosed and undiagnosed, and I need the right equipment to help me be able to overcome my disabilities in the future. And Luigi's, I'm sure, has all the right connections. So Anyway, enough of that. Hopefully that was my 2 cents for the day, and that's come up looking quite an interesting shape. I think we can now call this demo quits.